I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed by pretty much everything I'm hearing today. Again, I'm not too sure exactly what's what. If we're supposed to listen to the media reports and also there was a statement released by Complex, according to them, and let me read the statement because this was not communicated directly to me. This, that's what they call above your pay grade. So I'll tell you what they have said. At least Billboard ran an article on it. They said Joe Budden has left Everyday Struggle. Complex confirms. Give me a second. Where is the statement? The statement says, Joe Budden is not continuing as a host on Everyday Struggle in 2018. Complex told Billboard the show will be back in the new year with all new episodes and guests. We wish Joe all the best and thank him for a great 2017. That was a very disappointing statement. Just me personally. I wasn't expecting anything like that to be said. Again, Everyday Struggle, I think it's become a staple in the culture. Again, it was built on the backs of me and Joe, the dynamic we had. If you guys watched from the beginning, initial episodes for the first couple weeks, those were really bad. But it took us almost hating each other, like really hating each other, like leaving and probably going home each day saying, man, I can't stand this motherfucker. Like, to get to the point where when I look at months, like the last 3 or 4 months, like it was super dope. And I think it was evident on screen. So that's really how I believe that was Everyday Struggle was birthed. Bringing it back even more. Again, Everyday Struggle was supposed to be a show with Joe. I believe it was Elliot Wilson. I believe Elliot Wilson had some other things that came up. He moved on to a different position. And there was a spot open, and I was the person who came in. The reason why I was a little bit disappointed by that statement is that, I mean, based on everything we've done for the show, I mean, me, myself, Joe, like, Everyday Struggle would not be Everyday Struggle if it wasn't for the ideas of me and definitely Joe. You know what I mean? It would not be a daily show airing an hour a day. It would not be coming out the time it comes out. In developing the show that ended up being what it is, I could be honest with y'all, Joe was very influential in that. He had a lot of foresight to it. So, you know what I mean? Statement a little dry to me. I know it's business, and I understand. In terms of, you know what I mean? Homie held it down. Good 2017. We look forward to New Year. But my man put in work. You know what I mean? And also, I would imagine that if I was in the same situation, he would say the same about me. I don't even know if this is like real legit or final. If y'all do want to know an update, and I could give you an update on myself, I can't give you an update on Joe. Again, these are things that, number one, is business, number one. And number two, everybody gonna handle business accordingly. Me personally, me and Complex, we're talking. You know what I mean? We're talking about renewing stuff. Might look promising. We'll see how it plays out. But them and Joe was obviously at a different stage than they were at with me. You get me? So it all culminated in this happening today, which ironically is the day the Migos Ice Tray video comes out, which is like, what are the odds, right? What are the odds? But and I think this is where I'm going to. I'm looking for a little bit of clarity because I don't know if this officially means Joe is done with the show or there's still a chance he'll be on it. Personally, I wouldn't want to do Everyday Struggle with another host. It took way too long to build the chemistry, the rapport that we eventually had. Getting another host, and this is no knock to, I mean, if it is, it is what it is. But it took a long while, man. Like that's like 4 or 5 months of really kind of trying to gel and trying to improve daily, watching, what we did today and the next day trying to do better. So, you know what I mean? In 8 months, I think the strides we took, I don't think I've seen a hip-hop show, and I'm fans of all of the hip-hop shows. I've never seen a show make the impact that we did in that short of a time. So, I mean, I'm definitely proud of that. If you wonder about my relationship with Joe, I'm very cool with Joe. I mean, man, we talked today, we talked yesterday. We'll keep talking. You get me? Overall, and Complex knows this, you know what I mean? I would want to do Everyday Struggle with Joe. You get me? I think the chemistry between us is great. But then that's where it gets to a portion that I can't control. I can't control what happens business-wise, contractually. I can't control that. Now, I could tell you the truth. I didn't agree with how it was kind of like, my man ain't on no paternity leave. That's not the thing. You get me now? I mean, I guess if things were looking up, trying to cloak it from the fans, because a lot of times, I run with a lot of shit. My man not on a paternity leave, man. It's just real life business. That's just simply what it is. You know what I mean? It's business. You know what I mean? I'm new to all this shit, so really I'm kind of just moving and navigating through. I got like lawyers and shit now, but this is a reality that we live in. I know a lot of people are fans of Everyday Struggle. I hope that you appreciated what it was, but also, I mean, I was a little bit offended by people just really thinking that, and in no shape or form would there be shit. Not me. There would be Complex doing their thing, but anybody planning to do the show without Joe. But everybody was like really just acting like I'm some bum out here. I mean, like that was the shocking part to me. I don't know where y'all niggas got that sentiment from, and this is where I gotta come on and pop my shit, because I ain't gonna let y'all just act like I'm just. Listen, let me tell y'all this. This is number one. If you never heard about DJ Akademiks before, Everyday Struggle, you're under a rock. Okay? I've been doing my thing way before I ever linked up with Complex. I'll continue to do my thing while I'm in partnership with them, and I'll continue even afterwards. You get me? Again, if I was the boss, I had all the chips that I could make the moves. Me, Nadeska, Joe, we rocking. I can't make the moves. You feel me? There ain't no need to blame me. That's some shit higher than me. You know what I mean? Shit, it might get to a point. It might be my turn. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, listen, I'm just trying to, what's at my feet is just what I got to deal with. You know what I mean? Like, when we're having guests or different guests every day that's filling in for Joe, we have 15 minutes to find some type of medium or rapport and hopefully put on a show for y'all to watch and criticize for the rest of the day. You get me? It's much different than when you've been doing a show with someone for like 8 months. I do believe because I've seen some other people say, my audience is loyal. So, I don't, listen, Complex knows that. That's the reason why we're having the talks we're having now. They put me on screen, we gonna get views. That's just facts. So, I've seen a lot of people really misconstrued. You may have been watching for Joe. There's a lot of people watching for me, okay? And this is not a knock against what Joe contributes, because this is the great thing about the show. I have a huge audience, which is, I would say predominantly, they're very young. But Joe has a huge audience as well that's mature. While we trying to keep the show as it is, and I see people knocking like my contribution, y'all niggas fall back. You know what I mean? Everyday struggle without me or without Joe. That's just what it is. You get me? I'm still hoping that Complex is not completely done with the matter. I'm hoping that Joe still is trying to talk to them. You know what I mean? That's just really where it's at with me. Did Joe give me a heads up? Yeah, man, Joe, we've been talking. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we saw, listen, this is what I'll tell y'all. Everybody's seen this shit coming. At least if you if you were around and you were in the building, you saw this shit coming. It's just, was it going to be avoided? The last month I thought it was going to be avoided. I still think it's going to be avoided. You know what I mean? But of course, you know what I mean. Joe went on Twitter, so now Complex is kind of their hand is forced. They got to put out a statement because they're looking crazy. But do I think they want him there? Yeah. Does he want to be there? Yeah. This is my opinion. Again, I'm speaking for me. I'm pretty sure Joe will definitely go and clarify everything at a later time. I don't know. Probably use his platform, his podcast. But as far as me, currently, I'm still under contract. I'm working out what I could work out. I'm dealing with the chips they gave me. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? If I got to Russell Westbrook it, I'm gonna have to Russell Westbrook it. That's how it is. So, you guys as fans trying to understand, you got to understand a different perspective also where we're coming from. You know what I mean? This is my first like industry thing, period. You know what I mean? I don't really know how to. I'm still learning. Like I'm really being guided by like my lawyer on how to like move, navigate. Like Joe's seen every trick in the book. You know what I mean? So he's moving like a professional chess player. You know what I mean? Like so, he's doing his thing. But I will tell you this, and me and Joe, because we do acknowledge the chemistry exists, I do have a strong belief that whatever platform it is, shit, it could be my goddamn YouTube. Me and him, I'm pretty sure we'll do some stuff in the future. Uh, if, and this is if, he doesn't return to Everyday Struggle. And I know we're seeing reports that he's not, but I'm still saying if, because I haven't gotten word like it's a definite. Okay? They put out a statement, but I haven't gotten word. But, I mean, sometimes they do tell me shit late, so I don't know. But, just pretty much, you know what I mean? Me and him will definitely do something again. We acknowledge that the chemistry we have is very dope. It's very special. We realize how much we really shifted conversation in the culture, and we really appreciate that. We really appreciate all the support. I mean, again, a lot of depending on what side you fall on, you know what I mean, you might just be a Joe fan. Like you might not see my angle and shit, or you might not see my contribution, or you could be a supporter of mine. You probably don't see what Joe brings to the whole table. But being there, going through all the frustrating times, and realizing how impactful the show is, I understand exactly what we both bring to the table. So I can't force Complex's hand on anything. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much where we're at right now. And I'm hoping something happens before, because I don't know if I'll give you all a quick schedule. Like, tomorrow's my last day of taping until the new year. You get me? And shoot, I got contract stuff to work out then. You get me? So my fate also is kind of in limbo. Do I think he'll get worked out? I don't know. I mean, I'm optimistic. That's all I can say. I'm optimistic. Does it make it more difficult to work something out with me now that the situation that originally I've worked so hard to create is now changed? Absolutely. So that's basically, at least from what I'm seeing. That's my perspective. Now, again, I'm pretty sure Joe will go into the whole thing about stuff that he's been through, and it's not really my business or my place to be like, yo, this happened behind the scene, this happened. But all I will say is that Complex shouldn't feel blindsided by this. I wasn't blindsided by this. Joe was very, he was very cordial in letting us know that, hey, the clock is ticking. He told us a month ago, my last day is coming soon. So, again, I think for me, I was hoping everything was gonna be avoided, but clearly now it's public. We'll see how the chips is gonna play out, how it's gonna unfold. But as for anyone who is concerned with me, as much as I support Joe, I'm my own man as well. You know what I mean? I'm not no, you know what I mean? You see, Joe, he got his future wife, he got a newborn, and congrats to him. I got my own situation. I'm a grown man too, so I got to make decisions for myself, and we'll see how it lays in the next couple weeks. But all I really want to just tell y'all, like, relax. Relax. You know what I mean? Relax. If anything, I want to see what Complex is going to do. You know what I mean? It's going to be telling to not only him, but me. Because that dynamic, you can't. Yo, I could keep it 100 with y'all. We've had a lot of guest hosts. You see, Joe is only, and this is the thing, you see, people sometimes unfairly criticize me. Joe has never done that show without me. I've done that show with at least 25 people. Keep that in mind. Every time Joe's been on set, I've been there. So sometimes when people are like, yo, whatever, you've never seen, and maybe that criticism is really because of me, because I never really sat out. You know what I mean? I never really said I ain't coming in. You know what I mean? But you've only seen Joe with me. I've done that show with 25 different people. And I will say, with all the people I've done that show with, there's no one even that, like, even if you were thinking about a replacement, something like that, there's not even somebody close. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, there's not, to get that dynamic that we once had, we would have to, the show would be different replacing him. Because that dynamic is so different. And it's not only in how he acts, you know what I mean? Because he is like a very boisterous motherfucker, but also in his way of thinking and also like in his knowledge. So, you know what I mean? If this is it for Joe on Everyday Struggle, I mean, I will be vocal in terms of letting them know that, yo, we do have to give him a proper goodbye. I think you can't just fucking switch out a nigga and give him like a 30-second, like, oh yeah, Joe ain't here no more. This is our new guest. Nah, I can't work. It has to be somewhere where you at least acknowledge homie's contribution. Like, I'm telling y'all, when I was there, because I was green as a motherfucker, I was real awkward. I probably still am awkward on camera, but I'm probably definitely less awkward now than when I first got there. A lot of the show being crafted to what it is, that show would have been 15 minutes if Joe didn't say, nah, let's do an hour. I'm telling you, that was there. That's facts. Like, I was there. The show was meant to be a 15-minute show. Joe looked at him and said, nah, we need to do an hour every day. That became the thing. And the first time we did an hour, the fans ain't wanted less than an hour. You get me? So that's what I'm saying in terms of contribution. So that's the reason why that statement kind of rubbed me a little wrong. It was a little dry. You can't let somebody like really build the house and then as soon as somebody about to cut the ribbon, you just kick the nigga who built the house out and be like, all right, my nigga, peace out. I was there. I witnessed it. You feel me? We wouldn't be airing at 11 a.m. Low key, we were about to shoot the show at like 2 p.m. every day. Y'all would have got that shit at like 5 or 6. Nah, Joe said, nah, we wanna come out when all the morning shows coming out. That's where we at. That's how we coming. That's how we bumming out here. That's a good decision. You get me? Ain't nobody else had the foresight with that. I remember when I auditioned. It wasn't an audition, but we just kind of like had like a little test, like little debate joint. 5 minutes into it, and that's what I'm saying. You gotta give a nigga credit. You gotta give a nigga credit for spotting that shit. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I don't like that dry shit, especially when. And I mean, I could say things on my behalf, but I'm speaking on his behalf right now because I appreciate when niggas come in and we shape some shit. You know what I mean? Love corporate and everything. All respect to them, but y'all gotta realize this show is crafted by niggas being really in them rooms. You feel me? Shit, I remember when initially Deska was gonna be the moderator. We're gonna have another moderator. And I said, nah. She gotta be the moderator. That was Joe. That's facts. Ain't nothing to say about that. You get me? So, pretty much the original, from what the show was really like even theorized to be, to what it ended up being, a lot of that was Joe. So if that was a goodbye joint, them statements are a little bit too dry, man. We gotta, and I know, like, you know what I mean, we did briefly mention it on, like, well, I said something today on Everyday Show about Joe. That shit got edited out. I mean, I guess it is what it is because I'm not trying to incite the situation more, but as somebody who I worked with for months, and y'all know, me and Joe, we've gone there. Like, it's been really up and down. I ain't into that dry shit, man. I ain't into that like, all right, man. Yo, good looks on 2017, but we in 2018. Nah, nigga. So I'm hoping we get a little bit more than that. Shit, we should at least got a goodbye episode. That's just me. But again, you know what I mean? That I'm speaking as an individual who has worked every day with Joe. You feel me? I'm not speaking as corporate who probably looking on Twitter to see Joe like going off and probably say, "Man, we gotta just let it be known he not here." You get me? So I'm just speaking as a human. But I will tell y'all, in terms of the show being what it is, Joe was very influential and something that even if say I continue the show without him, that's something you always gotta appreciate. You can't just gloss over that shit. All right. No. Call Joe. Nah, I believe Joe's doing his podcast tonight. I can't wait to hear this shit in the morning. Somebody said, "Nah, yo, listen, I'm telling y'all, like there were important decisions made with the show. I mean, even like just even the smallest things, man. And that's what I'm saying that he contributed a lot to the show. Shit that I was probably too green to understand. Maybe now I could really get involved at that time because when I was so green, yo, I was really like, yo, I'm just really here to just like fucking just show up and talk. But in terms of like planning, I used to just kind of keep silent because I'm like, oh, I don't really know what's best. Homie took the lead on that, so it is what it is. So somebody said, don't do the show without Joe. And yeah, I've seen that comment a lot. You know what I mean? I've seen people even like criticize me for like don't doing the show because Joe's not there. Now again, listen, I got an attorney. You know what I mean? Complex is trying to renegotiate all that stuff, but I can't just like be like, all right, fuck everything and just stop working when I'm contractually supposed to. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you what has to happen. Now, if I was just like a free agent and I had to do nothing else, that might be a different discussion. But right now, I'm still on the contract. And the contract doesn't say I'm tied to Joe by the hip. I've done enough shows without Joe. I have, even though they're not ideal, because most of them we don't debate on them shits. It's like an interview. It's like, you know what I mean. Sometimes me and the desk we gotta thug it out and almost turn like a Breakfast Club little sit down interview. But we want to debate. I want to debate. But you know what I mean. What I'm gonna do? Like I'm only playing with the cards they gave me. I can't like dig back in the deck and take some other shit. Um, there's a lot of stuff that happened behind the scenes. I just don't feel like it's really my place to really say all that. I'm pretty sure Joe will be very vocal if this is a rap about certain situations. But I can tell you that as early as this week, Joe is supposed to be doing a show with us. You know what I mean? And also to address the people who says or who say like, yo, this is a money issue or whatever issue. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think it's a money issue. You know what I mean? Of course, money is a thing that we all need, right? And money definitely comes into play when you're negotiating contracts. But from my understanding of things, there were a lot of discussions about a lot more other things than just money. That clearly there wasn't a agreement made on. You get me? I thought it was gonna happen. Joe used to be telling me like on my last day it comes to, I'm like, man, yeah, this nigga's bluffing. I'm like, listen, man, this is gonna work out. But you got two people or two entities, because I'm gonna treat Joe as an entity. You got Complex, they ain't budging, and you got Joe, he's taking a stand. So that's what it is. Somebody says, when my contract is up, I should do what? Blah, blah. Yeah, man, yeah, I gotta contractually do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? It's and again, I'm gonna speak for me. I can't speak for Joe. this whole time, if you want to know the real with Complex, is that when we signed to Complex or we signed um, a contract to do the show, I can 100% guarantee you we've outperformed that contract 20 times. You get me? But you know what I mean, that's fine because nobody knew what it was. You know what I mean? Nobody knew if this was gonna really succeed. You know what I mean? That's why I was telling you that it was supposed to be 15 minutes, not an hour. You know what I mean? I think it was really supposed to even be like once a week, not every day or something like that. Well, I may be wrong about that because it was called Everyday Struggle. But yeah, it all kind of got changed as we realized what we kind of had and how special it was. So with me and any type of contract stuff, I played a lot of ball with them. I'm like, yo, listen, all right, we're gonna figure it out later. I'm let's just get to the content shit now. Now it was all really leading up to around this time because at that point you're under contract, but you're not in renegotiation time. Now you're in renegotiation time, so it's like different conversations. So, you know what I mean? Somebody said blackout on Complex. Hey, I don't have a beef with Complex. That's the thing. Hey, let me tell you how this, man. And I know there's some people from Complex watching now. Yeah, there's tremendous people who work on our show. Some of these Complex niggas is trash, 100%. Because I look at them every day in the face, and I look at them, I'm like, you're trash because I don't know what you're doing. You sit at the computer all day, do nothing. So some of them are trash. But the people who work on our show, they're great. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody that works on Everyday Struggle, and you got to keep in mind, Everyday Struggle shot so early in the morning that we leave before the rest of the complex even gets there. Like, so it's really just our show shooting the episode, and we're probably out before the rest of the office, all 400 or however many people get there. The people who work on Everyday Struggle, they're great. So I know some of them are watching this, and some of them may be disappointed, or some of them, I don't know. I don't know how they may be feeling. Um, I didn't have a problem, and I can't have a problem with what Joe is doing because Joe is doing what's good. Joe got a baby, man. Joe got a fiance or a soon to be fiance, I would imagine, and he's planning his life. I can't be mad at a man who's making decisions for his life, just like y'all shouldn't be mad at me if I'm making the same decisions as well. You know what I mean? So I know people at Complex probably mad how Joe's handling shit, but he's handling shit how he feels he have to handle it when he feels he's not respected. So I'm not mad at Joe, and like we had a talk. He said, "Yo, listen, Ak, um, I will be clear. There's nothing I'm gonna be saying that's bad about you. We had a great year. We worked great together. We had ups and downs, but this shit was lit, and we did the damn thing. So, with all that, he ain't coming at me. It's just really him dealing with a company issue. So it is what it is. Somebody says, "What's Joe's beef with Chops?" What? Um, why does Complex put more money into the sports show than? You see, these are questions you gotta ask Complex. I really don't know. You know what I mean? Like some of these things we've asked ourselves. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know. Uh, if I had to give the odds of what will happen, I would probably say 20%. Nah, 20%. That's way too high. I'd probably say like a good 5 to 10% Joe returns. Good 5 to 10%. Somebody says, somebody says Joe's not about forwarding the culture. He would have not done this. He's about money. Fuck him. Now it's whole button, whole button. Listen. All I could tell you, this is business, and this is what I would tell y'all. If y'all don't know it, and maybe you've seen little spurts, you know what I mean? When I have my fuck complex moment, y'all know I have it, but it's usually how I feel like they're portraying me. You know what I mean? Contractually, I don't really get at them. You get me? You ain't never see me on here like contractually getting at them. Because I believe contracts, you know what I mean? My lawyers is handling that. Um, I ain't really gonna bring that to the public. Now, Joe's method of handling stuff is different. That's just it. Somebody said check them dislikes on the Who Kid episode. Man, y'all better leave these goddamn dislikes off my damn video. Y'all better show them Jordan some love. Hey, I understand y'all gripes, man. Just don't be. Listen, I'm with y'all in the same boat. Like, yo, let's get Joe back. But don't be, nigga, when I'm on screen, don't be hitting no dislike button, nigga. You know what I mean? Stay your ass off the video if that's the case.